What's up, everybody? This is Casey Washak with the Rolling for Revenue podcast, your jiu-jitsu business podcast. So, guys, if you're looking to level up your school, create a greater impact in your area, or build a business that supports the lifestyle you want to have, then this is your podcast for you. Guys, today I want to tell you, go out and get the Rolling for Revenue book. It's at rollingforrevenue.com. Just pay for the shipping. The book is free. But in this book is over 20 years of business experience. And guys, this is what I would do if I was opening another school right now. So the learning curve is up to what I would do to this day if I was going to open yet another school. All right. So get the book, use it, love it, learn it, and let it change your life and impact your gyms the way it's impacted mine. All right. So today, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to do is talk to you about retention. All right. This is one of those areas where most of us think they're doing well, but they're actually leaving a lot of money on the table. And it always starts with like, we got a great community. Okay. Listen, community is important. It matters. And community is a big part of why people stay. But here's the problem. Like, community alone is not enough to retain your students. And if that's the only thing we're relying on is our community, then you're going to lose people. And it's not always visible, and you don't always understand why. Because just think about it. Almost every gym says the same thing. We're like a family. We got a great culture. Our people are awesome. And again, that's great. But if everybody is saying that, then it's not resonating. What's the differentiator between your gym and everybody else's? Then the question becomes, why do people leave? Because they do. Why are they leaving if your community's great? Even in gyms with great culture, people still leave. Even in gyms with great coaches, people still fall off. And it usually doesn't happen all at once. It's gradual. They start coming less. They miss a few classes. They feel disconnected. They feel like nobody is caring that they're not there. And maybe they're not even progressing as fast as they'd like to. And eventually, they're gone. There's no big conversation, no dramatic exit. They just disappear. All right. And that's where a lot of gym owners get confused, because they were thinking like, man, we got a great environment. What happened? And the answer usually is there is no system in place to guide that student, because community makes people feel welcome, but the systems make them feel progress, all right? And progress is what keeps people long-term. They need to know that they're moving forward. And so let me give you an example of this. So I want you to think about a brand new student walking through the doors of your gym. They're nervous. They don't know what to expect. They don't know anybody. It's like going to a new school. And if you got a good community, people are friendly. They're introducing themselves. They're helping them feel welcome and comfortable. And that's all important. But what happens after that? Do they know what their first 30 days should look like? Do they know if they're on track or on par, or how often they should be coming train? Do they know what they should be focusing on, or they're just kind of like left to figure it out as they go? Because if that's the case, then they're going to start feeling lost. They're going to start comparing to themselves to other people their belt, and they may fall off. They won't stay long because they just don't know. So let's take this a step further. What happens in 60 days? What happens in 90 days? What happens when they plateau? What happens when they start missing classes? So these are all systems we need to have in place. Do we have a system that catches that, like when they start missing classes, or do you only notice after they've already checked out? Because there's a difference. The system isn't just about welcoming people. It's about guiding them and checking in with them along the way. And it keeps them moving forward. And once you build something like that, your retention stops being random. It becomes very predictable. So let's put this into like a training analogy, because this is something it's very easy for us to understand. So when someone walks into your gym and you say, all right, go roll, what's going to happen? They're going to get overwhelmed. They're going to get demolished. They're going to get smashed. So they're going to feel like they don't belong, right? They're coming in with a preconceived notion of who they are. And then all of a sudden we just destroy that. So they're probably not, a lot of times they don't come back. But if you guide them, if you structure them, if you show them what to do, now they're going to start feeling progress. Now they're going to stay. All right. Even telling them what you're feeling is we all go through it. So now this needs structure. This needs phases. This needs something like the first 30 days, you're getting them comfortable. The next 90, the first 90, I'm sorry, you're starting to get consistent. 3 to 6 months, we're starting to build real progress. 6 to 12 months, we're trying to deepen their involvement. Now they're not just showing up, they're moving forward. And that ends up changing everything. Because once again, when people feel progress, they stay. When they start feeling stagnant, they start questioning if this is even for them, and they leave. And the community alone isn't sticky enough to keep them. So here's the good news. When you build a strong system or systems, your community actually gets better, because now people feel seen, they feel heard, they feel supported, they feel like they matter, not just because people are friendly, but because there's intention behind everything. You're teaching them what they're going to feel next because you've been there. So if you're looking at your retention right now and you feel like people are slipping through the cracks, don't just say like, we need a better culture. Ask yourself, do we actually need a better system? Because that's what keeps people long term. And that's what creates consistency. And that's what helps them build real growth. All right. So the community is important, but it's not enough. If we want real retention, we need to structure it. You need the systems to structure it, and you need to guide your students, not just welcome them, because when you do that, people don't just stay longer, they get better results, they refer people, they feel more connected, and when your gym becomes something they don't want to leave, they become very sticky and they stay. So guys, a lot of this just boils down to knowing the conversations you're going to have next. Look, at black belt, you've been through all the belts. You know, and this is the hard part, is we need to almost have a lot of empathy for what they're going through and try to remember what it was like for us to go through that. That's where they feel heard, because there's times when they join and they're like 6 months in, and then all of a sudden nothing's working for them, right? The moves aren't working. They start to question, like, am I even built for this? Is this for me? But if you're getting in front of that and saying like, look, you're going to go through these times where you feel stagnant, you feel like you're not progressing, and those are actually some of the most important times to keep showing up, because it's in those times that you're about to have a very meteoric rise. You just got to get through these hard parts. And so what I want you to start focusing are on some of the basics. You know, when you're defensive, like having your frames; when you're offensive, position before submission. So letting them know that you understand what they're going through, because right now they look at the higher belts as, sometimes they look at them as, they might just be different than me. Do they understand what I'm going through? They probably didn't go through this, when in reality, we've all went through it and we're still going through it. It's just we never talk about it. So this is the sort of stuff you start getting to your newer students, and they last longer. There's a reason why most people quit at blue belt. Like, we all know that people quit at blue belt, but what have we put in place to prevent that? Why do people quit at blue belt? Is it because it's the longest belt and it's where like most of the the change comes from. So this, especially at that point, can we start putting texts, emails, videos to these people, letting them know, like, I've been there. I know what you're going through. Here's how to work through it. You need to talk. I'm here for you. Otherwise, they're not going to go out with a big announcement. They're just going to slide out and you're never going to hear from them again. So, guys, this retention is not sexy. This is something that, look, if retention was taken care of, there wouldn't be all these marketing agencies. If we all knew how to retain people, there would be these marketing agencies would get you 30 more members, and then then you'd be done. You wouldn't need them again because 99.9% of your people would be staying. And you get to a point where you have a waiting list. So we dial in the retention. We don't have to spend as much money on marketing. So I would argue retention's first before you can even market. Most people do it backwards. Most people are like, I have a bunch of holes in my boat. So what I need to do is get more people in it first before we sink. No, what you need to do is plug the holes in the boat so everybody stays in the boat. And then there's no reason to leave, right? So, guys, if you got benefit from this, like, comment, and share. And until next time, I'll see you on the mats.